Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Marty Hayney, and I'm a member of this congregation. With me in today's service are the Reverend Margalie Belizaire, our music director, our music team, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, and the folk ensemble, as well as Cammie Horn, Lisa Marie Machas, me, it says it right there, Patty Reynolds, Donna Kosloski, and Ross Payne. We welcome all to join us as we explore our Unitarian Universalist faith, which draws us into a community of justice seekers with a commitment to lifelong spiritual growth and compassionate service to our community. Whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcome here. You are welcome here regardless of your color, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, age, physical or mental abilities, economic status, or religious background. Families, we're so happy to have you here with us. We regret we are not able to offer childcare today. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we are a non-creedal community, and we do not subscribe to a specific set of beliefs. We live by a covenant that encourages ethical behavior, affirms democracy, celebrates the worth of each individual, and unites us in a search for truth and meaning. We welcome you. For more information about our congregation, you can go to orlandouu.org or email welcometeam@orlandouu.org. We have one special announcement today. Today is an important day in our community. We will be dedicating a child, celebrating her, and welcoming her to this community. The First Unitarian Church of Orlando. We invite members of the congregation to participate in this ceremony. All other announcements are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. Thank you again for being here in person or online today. Let's get started.
Morning, everybody. Please join me in the words of lighting the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share.
It is so good to be with you this morning as we continue to explore celebrating blessings in a world that insists on you being ashamed of who you are. Let us explore how we get proud during this month, this Pride Month, and celebrate the blessings of differences. We are blessed to be here in this community today that makes space for people to be who they are. As we celebrate Pride Month on this 6th year of remembrance of the Pulse shooting, I call us to worship with "You Get Proud" by practicing the words of Flora Hershey. This piece is somewhat lengthy, but you have nowhere to be but right here. So do not let that worry you. Do not let that worry you. Let the words sink in. If you are not proud of who you are, for what you say, for how you look, if every time you stop to think of yourself, you do not see yourself glowing with golden light, do not therefore give up on yourself. You can get proud. You do not need a better body, a purer spirit, a PhD to be proud. You do not need a lot of money, a handsome boyfriend, a nice car. You do not need to be able to talk or see or hear. or use big, complicated words, or do any of those things that you just can't do to be proud. A caseworker cannot make you proud, or a doctor. You only need to practice. You get proud by practicing. And there are many ways to get proud. You can try riding a horse or skiing on one leg, or playing guitar and do well, or not so well, and be glad that you tried either way. You can show something you've made to someone you respect and be happy with it, no matter what they say. You can say what you think, though you know other people do not think the same, or you can keep saying it, even if they tell you you're crazy. You can add your voice all night to the voices of 150 others in a circle around a jailhouse where your brothers and sisters are being held for blocking buses with no lifts. Or you can be one of the ones inside the jailhouse, knowing of the circle outside. You can speak your love to a friend without fear. You can find someone who will listen to you without judging or doubting you for being afraid or being afraid of you, and let you hear yourself perhaps for the first time. These are all ways of getting proud. None of them are easy, but all of them are possible. You can do all these things, or just one of them, again and again. You get proud by practicing. Power makes you proud, and power comes in many fine forms, supple and rich as butterfly wings. It is music when you can practice opening your mouth and liking what you hear, because it is the sound of your own true voice. It is sunlight when you practice seeing strength and beauty in everyone, including yourself. It is dance when you practice knowing that what you do and the way you do it is the right way for you and cannot be called wrong. All these hold more power than weapons or money or lies. All these practices bring power, and power makes you proud. You get proud by practicing. Remember, you weren't the one who made you ashamed, but you are the one who can make you proud. Just practice. Practice until you get proud. And once you're proud, keep practicing so you don't forget. You get proud by practicing. Now come, let us worship together. It is time for a child dedication that Marty mentioned a little while ago. Following the ceremony, please remain seated as we sing our children and youth song, "This Little Light of Mine." From the beginning of times, parents and other caregivers have brought their children before their communities and families to dedicate and bless their new lives. We too come out of such tradition. From time to time, we conduct a wondrous ritual that we call a child dedication ceremony. This ceremony is similar and yet dissimilar to other naming rites, It is a sacrament, which means it is an outward visible sign of an inward spiritual grace. We come here out of reverence for life, that we have seen the miracle of birth. We acknowledge that power, and we are humble before it. This ceremony will recognize the child's worth and potential to change the world. It will bind all of us, family and congregation, into a covenant of love and caring. It will acknowledge the mystery of this gift we call life. In short, our ceremony doesn't change the child, it changes us. Will the Deaver family please come forward? Hello. And this ceremony of dedication, as parents, as friends, and members of this congregation, we pledge ourselves to the growth and spiritual nurturing of this child. Nicole and Michael, in bringing Jade to be celebrated and welcomed into this congregation, you acknowledge that they are more than your own creation or your private concern, that they need your loving care and your determination to guide them with understanding and commitment. Your affection and devotion will support them for many years. Do you promise, to the best of your ability, by your example, your love and wisdom, to lead this child in the way of goodness, beauty, justice, and truth?
We do.
Maya, as Jade's big sibling, will you teach Jade most of what you know, keeping some just for yourself?
Yes.
And do your best to share your toys with Jade?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any other children in the congregation today? Okay. Will the entire congregation now rise in body and spirit where you are? Will you, members and friends, rejoice with these parents in the birth of their child by recognizing Jade? You acknowledge that you are willing to care for and respect her, just as you try to love and celebrate all children. Will you share with this family and the larger community the responsibility and joy of providing a safe, nurturing, and challenging that by greeting this child, you let them know and their family that they will always be welcome among us here. Will you all say welcome to Jade?
Welcome, Jade.
To dedicate this child, this flower here, which is a symbol of the unfolding life before us, and water, which symbol the purity of freshness, the source from which all the life springs, reminding us that while we today embrace Jade within our community, she is part of the wholeness of the world. Remember? All right. Jade with a flower and water, symbol of purity and beauty. I touch your brow. And to which, let me see, a couple of things. I touch your brow, your lips, and your hands to dedicate your thoughts. That to which is noble and beautiful and true. May your heart always know love. Your mind search for truth and beauty. Your eyes always seek justice. May your hands find labor which fulfills them. Your body carry you far, and your spirit for the mountaintop. The gardens of the world are full of many flowers, each different, each beautiful, unique. May these flowers remind us that all children are like those flowers. Each is different, each is beautiful, each is unique. Today, we give you this rose. Oh, you're holding it very tightly. Wonderful. Did you smile? Or am I? Today, we give you this rose, Jade. It is a symbol of the beauty of living. It has a closed bud for now, or not fully open bud for now. As it unfolds in natural beauty, so too may your life unfold. The thorns have been removed in symbolism for our dedication to protect you and support you as you grow into your own. So, just a short little prayer for you, Jade. Source of all life and source of this new life in our midst, we are in wonder of this miracle of birth. We are overjoyed with gratitude for the precious life of Jade. Grant to these parents and all of those who surround this family the wisdom and courage and strength to lead this child in the journey of this life. May this congregation be for you a firm root, a circle of love, and a source of vision. Be blessed, Jade. All right.
Good morning. I'm standing in for Patty Reynolds today as a member of the Caring Circle, one of the ministries of this church that keeps our community safe and in connection. We'd like to let you know that Beverly Alig is having knee surgery, which is meniscus repair, this Tuesday, June 14th. She'd appreciate healing energies sent her way. Messages and cards would also be appreciated. Oh, and that same day is Bev and Craig's 52nd wedding anniversary. What a ride it's been. Dale Steakley continues to be at the Delaney Health and Rehab Center. She'd love a visit if you can make one, and also welcomes cards and phone calls. Ellen Hone sends the news that, yes, she has COVID. There's been some improvement every day, and she and Sharon are so grateful to the congregation for meals and all kinds of support. They are in quarantine, but you can call them or send a card. We're announcing that Reverend John Gaffney, who occasionally has participated in activities here at 1U, especially those held by RUM, died on May 16th. His obituary, which his daughter Rachel shared with us, will be posted in the weekly update. And now, a moment of joy. Won't you join me in wishing a just day early happy birthday to Nancy Kelman, who turns 97 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Nancy.
Bring your joys and your sorrows as we come together. Come as you are. Your whole self is welcome here in this sacred space we are creating together. For the lawmakers, may you hear the cries of the people for stricter gun laws, and may your heart be softened. For first responders who run towards the danger so that others might have the opportunity to run from it, may you always find a way to decompress, and may you not be judged too harshly for your mistakes. For the friends, family, and beloveds of those who were terrorized and killed by gun violence fueled by hatred at Pulse nightclub 6 years ago, may your pain become less and less prevalent, and may the beautiful memories more and more accessible. And for all the joys and sorrows of this community shared, and for those held close to the heart, let us pray, let us celebrate, and let's send each other healing energy. I invite us now into meditative prayer with the following video, Queer Morning Blessing, which will be followed by a moment of silence.
Blessed are you, awakener, life of all worlds, who removes sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids.
Blessed are you, generous creatrix, who stretches forth the earth upon the waters.
Blessed are you, sacred flame, who shines your light upon everyone and everything.
Blessed are you, wings of gold, who crowns my people, all people, with splendor.
Blessed are you, holy fashion designer, who delights in the way we dress ourselves as altars.
Blessed are you, nameless and infinite, who has made us in your image and reminds us that all bodies are sacred and holy. Boom, boom.
Blessed are you, liberation worker, who moves us to stretch and expand towards freedom.
Blessed are you, divine apple orchard, who delights in my delight and receives my pleasure as praise.
Blessed are you, the way, who meets me where I am.
Blessed are you, holy breath, who fills me with this gift every day.
Blessed are you, abundance, for helping me remember I have everything I need.
Blessed are you, source of life, who I draw upon for strength, and who reminds me that rest is a sacred act.
Blessed are you, fabulous one, who loves me just as I am.
Blessed are you, weaver of being, who shaped the human being with wisdom, making for us all of the openings and vessels of the body. It is known that we are miracles, and that all bodies are miracles.
Blessed are you, you of many names, for revealing infinite paths of healing.
Blessed are you,
you of many names,
for revealing
infinite paths of healing.
Remain seated and in a meditative state as we sing our centering hymn, How Could Anyone? Number 1053. Words will be on the screen in English, followed by Spanish.
We now invite you into the practice of generosity for the many ministries of the First Unitarian Church of Orlando to help us thrive. You can make an offering online to support the many ministries that we have. Simply go to orlandouu.org and click the donate button in the upper right-hand corner, or you can send a text, or you can send a check. You may also support this month's Share the Plate partner, the LGBTQ History Museum of Central Florida, by finding a link to their organization in our Newsy Weekly newsletter. The mission of the LGBTQ History Museum of Central Florida Incorporated is to collect, preserve, and exhibit the history of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community in Central Florida. They are dedicated to collecting and preserving memorabilia, providing a documentary record for research, and displaying with pride the community's social and historical contributions.
I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. Put your hands together. I got pain, there you go, an arrow. I got pain like an arrow. I got pain like an arrow in my soul. I got love like an arrow. I got pain like an arrow. I got pain like an arrow in my soul. I got tears like the raindrops. I got tears like the raindrops. I got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I got pain like the raindrops. I got tears like the raindrops. I got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I got strength like a mountain. I got strength like a mountain. I got strength like a mountain in my soul. I got strength like a mountain. I got strength like a mountain. I got strength like a mountain in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul.
Thank you for having me. My name is Lisa Marie, and the title of my poem is The Rainbow's Other Side. This was written for the 5-year Pulse Memorial. On a warm June evening, I am bursting at the seams. The year is 2009, and I am turning 18. Old enough to dance wherever I want. With back-breaking, gyrating, smooth as a swan in a glitter bath, punk rock, hip-hop, bachata, poise, and sass. My friends knew where to take me. Somewhere I could be free to be me, to be flowing, to be seen. Somewhere I didn't have to hide. I just wanted to see life on the other side. Somewhere I'd see a dancer fall into a split, reaching to the heavens, pulling all its colors to his chest, whirling his body round to shiver out the stress. His dark skin shining, fingers grinding, conducting rhythm to soar in a room of moonlit lovers who never knew freedom before. On a warm June morning, I'm dripping Micanopy heat. The year is 2016, and I'm surrounded by antiques. My partner's in the bathroom holding out his phone with all the reverent silence of a newly minted funeral home. That headline can't be near. That happens anywhere but here. On the TV, far away to other people in other places, a change of channel should erase this. Orlando, Pulse. I dive up my phone, rushing to remember anyone who could be there at all. I text, I call, I text, I call. Please, please tell me you're alive. My prom date from high school who danced until he ripped his pants. My shy friend from college who loved baseball and romance. Pretty people tracing kisses on his lips before slipping out of sight. Acquaintances barely remembered by the end of the night. That bad boy barback quoting Oscar Wilde plays. Damn, I forgot about those days. My best friends, my neighbor, my ex, they all got the same text. Please tell me you didn't die. I counted everyone I knew, and the news counted theirs. In a race against denial, seemingly absurd. My theater friend said he ended the evening early, going home after Southern nights, following a bicker in the back of an Uber ride. The words, "everything happens for a reason," never seemed like more a lie. And what could we do when the dead had friends too, and family and lovers and light? How could we respond in a way that's just, in a way that's right? Good thing we always knew what sacred really was. We cradled it with candles and with flowers over the names of our angels spread across the lawn. Good thing we always knew what faith really was. Yes, as LGBTQ+ people always knew what faith really was. Knowing love could triumph any wrong. So we drown the world in color and reach for every hand, painting a strength and unity across a single land. On a warm June morning, you see the rainbow's other side. The year is 2021, and hope is turning 5, old enough to dance wherever it wants. Thank you.
Out of the falling rain, weave me the hope of a new tomorrow, fill my cup again. I've seen the steel and the concrete crumble, shine on me again. The proud and the mighty all have stumbled, shine on me again. Weave with me the beloved, shine on me again. Rose on the banks of the river of suffering, shine on me again. Weave me the sunshine out of the pouring rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow, fill my cup again. Only I can heal your sorrow, shine on me again. I'll help you find a new tomorrow, shine on me again. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow, fill my cup again. Only you can climb the mountain, shine on me again. If you want to drink at the golden fountain, shine on me again. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow, fill my cup again. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain. Weave me the hope of a new tomorrow, fill my cup again. Weave me the sunshine out of the falling rain.
June is Pride Month, as you know. We are, of course, referring to LGBTQ+ pride, a promoting of self-affirmation, dignity, equality, and providing increased visibility of LGBTQ+ people as a social group. A shining of light on pride and a dimming of it on shame and social stigma that is associated with being queer, a stigma that the predominant straight culture insisted that LGBTQ+ folks wore as a mantle. This community has said overwhelmingly no, and at times hell no, to having their life dictated by their oppressors. We have moved from a time when LGBTQ+ folks were made to feel ashamed of who they were and were regulated to the closet, fearing for their very lives, to a place where the Supreme Court of the United States legalized same-sex marriage in the US. Look, I am fully aware that all is not hunky-dory, even with the protection of civil rights. Here in our own states, for example, a Don't Say Gay bill was recently signed by the governor, and just 6 years ago today, a group of primarily Black and brown LGBTQ people were gunned down at Pulse nightclub as they proudly danced the night away. No, I am not so naive as to believe that all is good in this country, and certainly not for those of that identity who live in countries where it is illegal to be gay. Yet, there is much to celebrate, much to affirm, and whatever identities you carry, we can each learn from the journey of another, whether the person or a group, on how to get proud, especially when their identities are different from us. I believe it is important to our mental health and spiritual life to cultivate pride in who we are. In a world that insists that we are ashamed, how do we live an authentic and rich life? This Pride Month, let's see what we can learn from the LGBTQ+ pride movement. How did this movement get to pride? How does one get to proud? You get to proud by practicing, and there are many, many ways to get proud, as Laura Hershey reminds us. And what are some of the ways that the LGBTQ plus community practice to get proud? During the early morning hours of Saturday, June 28, 1969, a group of LGBTQ plus folks who were likely tired of being pushed around and probably had had enough of the mistreatment, abuse, and disrespect dished out by the New York City Police Department fought back following a police raid at a gay bar called the Stonewall in Greenwich Village, Manhattan. During subsequent nights, there were more protests, and these protests were the watershed moments in the modern-day LGBTQ rights movement and the impetus for organizing LGBTQ pride marches on a much larger public scale. Blessed are those who showed up to protest and those who made it possible for them to be able to show up. It could not have been easy or comfortable or pleasant to participate in those protests. It wasn't like they had police escorts or even the support of the general public. It was nothing, I imagine, like the protests that started at Orlando City Hall yesterday, where I saw many yellow shirts. Some were undercover as blue shirts. And so for example, at yesterday's rally, we weren't harassed. We weren't met with brutality. We were even escorted by the police, who can sometimes dish out that brutality. And that scenario on June 28, 1969 was completely different. Yet, these protesters showed up night after night for 6 days, sometimes, I'm sure, with their pride fully on display, and other times hesitantly. But they showed up. And the events of those nights are now well known and remembered as the Stonewall riots, or Stonewall uprising, or Stonewall rebellion. Or one simply needs to say Stonewall, and it is generally understood what is meant by that. I personally don't care for the phrase Stonewall riots because of the negative connotation attached to riots and how rioters are assigned blame in those situations, when in fact, they were simply protesting an injustice the only way available to them. But that's a sermon for another day. Again, how do we get proud? You get proud by practicing. You practice by saying what you think, though you know other people do not think the same way, and you keep saying it, even if they think you are crazy. You can add your voice all night to the voices of 150 others in a circle around a jailhouse where your siblings are being held, or you can be the one inside the jailhouse having been arrested for protesting. And many were arrested and jailed on that day on June 28, 1969, many of which were Black and brown people, a fact that is consistently omitted from the Stonewall events. The subsequent protests were led largely by Black and brown LGBTQ plus women, like gay rights activist and male impersonator Storm Belizaire, Marsha P. Johnson, activist, self-identified drag queen, an advocate for trans folks, sex workers, and incarcerated people, as well as those with HIV/AIDS. Sylvia Rivera, just 17 and already a seasoned activist, and Miss Major Griffin Gracie. I mentioned this erasure of those important people from the historical records and the fight for LGBTQ plus right? To point out that sometimes you can be discarded and disregarded in your effort to bring pride to you and to your people. History teaches us that this happens to the marginalized quite often, right? For example, most of the work of the civil rights movement was done by Black people on the backs of Black people, yet they're the ones who less benefited from the results. But the work to be proud, to a great extent, is about the person doing that work and how they fight for themselves and others. These activists were carrying the double burden, of course, of being made to feel ashamed for being Black and brown and being queer. I can imagine how they must have felt really not getting the recognition they well deserve from within the group they were fighting with. I'm glad that there seems to be a movement nowadays to credit them for their contributions. I also want to lift up that Stonewall didn't happen in a vacuum, in the same way that prior incidents of Blacks refusing to give up seats on a bus happened before Rosa Parks, right? Case in point, Frances Harper. There were many other protests prior to Stonewall that we don't hear a lot about. You get proud by practicing. There are all ways of getting proud, none of them easy, but all of them are possible. For example, 10 years prior to Stonewall, in May of 1959 in Los Angeles, a group of LGBTQ+ folks protested police harassment by throwing donuts in coffee cups at the police at a 24-hour donut shop called Cooper Donuts Cafe. In August 1961 in Milwaukee, LGBTQ+ folks at a nightclub called Milwaukee Black Night fought off a group of Navy servicemen, gay bashers, who attacked the bouncer at the door. They came back, that is, the Navy servicemen came back with reinforcement, and then 70 folks fought back, and the police ended up arresting the Navy servicemen. And in September 1964 in New York City, a small group picketed the Whitehall Street Induction Center after the confidentiality of gay men's draft records were violated. Incidentally, this is the action that has been identified as the first gay rights demonstration in the United States. In December of that same year, 1964, also in New York, 4 gay men and lesbians picketed a lecture by a psychoanalyst espousing the model of homosexuality as a mental illness. The demonstrators were given time to make a rebuttal, and countless other protests, including at the White House, sit-ins at restaurants for refusal of service, sit-ins against religious institutions, police raids, etc. And I want to now share the following reading with you by my queer friend and colleague, Reverend Laura Solomon, who attended seminary with me, and it's something she wrote about the importance of her queerness. When someone confronted me with the question, how important is it to you that you're queer? I couldn't answer, unsure whether to feel confused or insulted. I fumbled awkwardly through the conversation. It felt like there should be an answer, a way to quantify the importance of my queerness in concrete ways. A few days later, the answer arrived unexpectedly. I was flipping through skirts in my local Goodwill. I was wearing a shirt declaring love is love and a mask with rainbows. Soon, I noticed a teenager hovering nearby. They were tall and slender, wearing super long, bulky cargo pants and a long sleeve shirt that hung past their fingertips. Their hair dyed black, shaved on one side, and long and silky on the other side. Hey, they finally said to me, I like your mask. Oh, thanks, I said. I love the rainbows. I held up a skirt and asked their opinion. The teenager nodded, cheeks turning pink, and affirmed, "It's really cute." I thought so too, I said. I gestured down the row at their approximate size. They've got some cute stuff today. They nodded, then disappeared. A few moments later, I glanced down the row and saw them running their fingers through the skirts. They looked at me nervously and smiled. "Good luck," I said as I walked away. But I don't think they heard me. They were holding a long, shimmering skirt that reminded me of a mermaid tail and studying the way the fabric caught the light. I suppose they're my answer, that teen with the mermaid skirt, that my body could signal safety to a teen and goodwill is the only answer I could ever give. My queerness is that important as their life and their necessity in the world. It's as simple as a rainbow mask and as beautiful as the galaxy of identity. Our queerness is as important as haircuts and rainbows, signaling safety and love. It is as important as mermaid skirts and cargo pants. To be queer is to know the ways of holding each other. To be queer is to know the ways of holding all that shimmers to the light. As I see it, the ancestors of the LGBTQT pride movement, through their own manifestation of pride, have made it easier for my friend, Reverend Laura, to practice getting proud. And she, in turn, is doing the same for the next generation. And how do we get proud? I bet you can answer that. By practicing. May your practice at being proud bear fruit. Once again, please rise and body your spirit and join me in singing hymn number 131, "Love Will Guide Us." The words will be on the screen. You were not the one who made you ashamed, but you are the one who can make you proud. Just practice. Laura Hershey. Beloveds, worship has ended, and now the service truly begins.
Please join me in the words of extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.